So, Dougie, the next movie in the DCU is actually going to be Supergirl, and after that, it's going to be the Clayface film. And they're actually also doing this dynamic duo film that's going to be about Batman and Robin, and it's going to be a stop-motion animation film. I think it might actually be kind of like the Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem film. They're getting this amazing comic book artist, Jock, to help them design the visuals. I've read one of his comics with this guy, EMP, and it was amazing.
And what about origin stories, Charlie?
Oh, yeah, so we're going to talk about origin stories. The first time that they did a story with Clayface, he actually didn't have any powers, guys. It was written by Bill Finger, and that was Detective Comics number 40. And he was just this actor who was, taking on the persona of one of his old characters, Clayface, from one of his old films, to go around killing people who were doing a remake of one of his other old films. And it turns out that Batman's girlfriend was actually supposed to be in this remake, so Batman got involved. Yeah, it was a whole thing. And it was actually, kind of inspired, the whole story with the original Clayface was sort of inspired by a Phantom of the Opera.
Oh man, Charlie, what if Tom Rhys Harris actually does become the persona of Clayface, and they do remake one of his movies, and then he goes and does that?
Anyway, so the origin of Supergirl is usually that she's Superman's cousin, and that's the way that they're doing it in the movies. But when I was reading the comics in the 90s, she was actually this weird shape-shifting alien, and she, came down to Earth and took on the persona of Supergirl so she could be a superhero. But she fell in love with Lex Luthor. It was complicated, yeah. You getting all this, Dougie?
Oh, yeah, sure, Charlie. The next DCU movie is going to be Clayface, and it's a claymation film about Supergirl, who's actually an alien, and she shapeshifts into Clayface. And Jacques Cousteau is going to be the bad guy or something. Wow.
Well, anyways, there was also the Batman the Animated Series where they have a totally different origin story for Clayface, which was actually a lot like this Demi Moore movie, The Substance. In the animated series, it's actually that he is this actor who's been disfigured, and he needs this face cream that he can only get from these mobsters because it's actually really addictive. So, they're sort of experimenting on him, but he needs it to do this film that he's trying to make. And so he ends up getting in over his head, and they pour this stuff down his throat to try and kill him, but it just turns him into the Clayface monster. And he gets the super shape-shifting powers that he doesn't have in the original story, just has a clay mask.
I need to get some face cream, Charlie.
Yes, you do, Dougie. Like, share, and subscribe.